Now, I don't want to, so we're coming to the exercises now. So before I go to the exercises, I just want to say, because I want us to actually, I'm assuming that most of you were able to complete those exercises, or at least attempted it, and you might have some questions regarding it. So I'm going to tackle that now. And then I want you to test your ability. We're going to do 3 examples. So I'm hoping everybody has the Jupyter open. And I'm hoping that you place the file that I sent on your desktop, because I just want you to see if you get new instructions from someone and the answers are not at the back of a book, how calm can you keep yourself and not panic and attempt something new that you've already done? All of the stuff was stuff that you've already done. So I just want to see first whether anybody had any issues with any of the questions. Then we're going to skip straight to those ones, because I'm not going to run through the stuff that's already at the back of the book, the answers, only if you guys do have burning questions or some confusion. Just bear in mind that you obviously don't need to write your variable names and everything exactly the way they told you to, unless they said that you needed to give it specific variable names. Okay, so if there's nothing in the chats, then I'm going to assume that everybody was able to work through everything fine. So can I skip straight to the additional exercises so that you can just check whether you can do the same thing? Can I just get a go ahead from at least 2 or 3 people? So let's move to the additional exercises. So you will notice when I send you this that I would give you the solution that I did, that I think the book wanted us to give. But then I would also give you the better solution, which is with the open. One thing I want to mention is this might get confusing when I send it to you. You might wonder what all of this is over here. But remember in the last session, we spoke about this escape character. You can actually use the with function, and you can actually open multiple files at once by separating them with a comma. So you can open that file and then open another file with a comma next to it, and open 10 if you want. I've only used this escape character because it makes it easier to read. This is basically all one line, with this being separated from this with a comma, and this being separated again as a comma. So I've just, for example, opened the first file, which is for reading, and then the 2 writing files for the first exercise exercise that we had needed to do. I've opened my coding file and my non-coding file, and obviously with their variable names, which is intuitive, and I've just separated them with commas. So don't get confused when you see this escape character. This is just so that I can put it on a new line without Python seeing this as a new line or as a space. Okay, but I'm not going to go over this then. If everybody has attempted all of the exercises at the back, I'm going to go to, and I'm not going to go through the OS part that we can do when we come back to it next year. So let's go to the additional exercises. So I want you to pretend that you have, not pretend, you should have this alice_orchard.faster file on your desktop. So I want you to read in this file. So in read mode, I want you can use either the with, but if that's too complicated, you can use the normal method. Just remember to put .close at the end. So open the file that's on your desktop, and then I want you to check whether the sequence AAGGAT is in the file. You might need to open the notes from last time, but if you don't remember, all you need to do is to say AAGGAT, so in your quotation marks, in whatever file or whatever variable name. So if your if your sequence is, let me add something here so that you, so for example, if you have sequence is equal to, now let's make it, sentence is equal to, I am absolutely awesome, then you might remember that we just said awesome in sentence, and then it should print out true or false. Okay, so you're going to do exactly the same here, except I want you to store the answer of this. So when you write this awesome in sentence, store it in a variable name called answer. Otherwise, you won't be able to print it. That's the only reason why. Then you have to print this variable name and tell me what your answer was. Of course, you won't be able to see whether this is in there. You could do a control find, but I mean, let's be honest. So just check if that is in the file, and then print the answer to your desktop. Not to a file, just print it. So let's just try and see. While you're busy with it, you can ask me questions, but just try and see whether you're able to do this without panicking. And if you do panic, whether you can calm yourself down and just try and do this. Of it, just so that you can see if you're on the right track. Okay, so you could have, like I said, you could have either used, no, I don't want to expose too much of it, but let's do it that way. Okay, you could have either done it without the width and just put this in front of it. So there's this way, but I don't mind if you do it like this. But then you obviously can't put that space there. So you should be able to have either, obviously yours is not going to be home Tracy. You're going to have to use your path to your desktop, and then read in your file that way. So yours is going to be different to mine. Anybody had issues with that or realize that they got confused somewhere? Confusion is also good. At least it shows that you have an idea of what to do. But there are just some kinks that you need to iron out in your understanding. So I'm gonna move on and assume that everybody was able to do that part. And then it says that you need to create a variable name, and in that variable name it should store the answer to whether this sequence is in that file. And then you need to print the answer or print this variable name. Okay, so it should look something like this. It should look something like this. So you're going, is that sequence in whatever you named your file? And then print the variable. And then you should get true because it is in that file. So